this experience, there was no background noise, there was no storm sounds, there was no relaxing music, simply silence. And sometimes that does it. I am actually quite excited about this experience, even though I tried to stay longer. I really did. I wouldn't say this was on the shorter side of experiences, but if you've listened to me long enough, you know I always like to stay as long as I possibly can. But here we go with another beyond body experience and a parallel universe. Very interesting. Let me begin by the fact with the fact that, again, going back to silence. For whatever reason, this afternoon, it's about, oh gosh, what time is it right now? It's about 12 something in the afternoon. I believe that this experience happened around 11:15, 11:30. But since a little bit earlier in the morning, I've just been listening. Sometimes I talk to you about just listening to the universe, just listening to the silence. Sometimes I do that. I was communicating, I think, with different beings. So interesting. Right before this happened, I believe a being said, "I am so excited that you are connected." I remember that. It's quite interesting. But this was a bit before the experience happened. And, well, let me get right into it. Now, it's interesting because many people, and I always like to, as I go along with my experience, I like to also tell you about questions that people might ask me when I'm out there, maybe in Reddit or on my channel. I've heard this question before: what is the best position to astral project or to have an experience? What is the best position you can lie in? And it's interesting. My response to this particular question has been, whatever is most comfortable for you. I'm a very practical being. I really am. I'm not into saying this has got to be the way it is. It should be comfortable for you. And the reason why I say this is because for me, it has always worked out that way. This time, I turned on my left side. Now, I've had experiences on my left side before, interestingly enough, when I've turned on my left side. That used to happen a lot. But as I was lying there on my left side, in silence, I could feel it coming. This was a classic. And if you've listened to me for a while, you know what I mean by a classic beyond body experience, where I can feel that wave of energy coming. Quite amazing. I could feel it coming, and when it arrived, I felt myself begin to turn in different positions. Now, the first position, for some reason, I can't remember what the first position was that I turned in. I can't recall. I just started turning different angles. And if you've heard this one before with the beyond body, you know that I feel as if my body is almost on a turntable and it's turning in different positions. It's still on the bed. It's so interesting. I mean, I could feel myself, I think I could feel myself turn over. Actually, oh no, I do remember now. So interesting. I turned over to another side, I think, until I was on the edge, and it felt as if I was on the edge of the bed. And then I felt myself fall off the edge of the bed. And no matter how many times I have this experience, I always feel as if I'm going to hit the ground when I fall from my bed. But I had faith that I wasn't going to crash onto the ground. But it's so interesting. Every time I always feel like, oh my God, I'm going to hit the ground and it's going to hurt. But it never does. It never does. And these, again, for those of you who don't follow the beyond body experiences, I believe these are just my senses trying to make sense of what's happening, turning in these different angles, whatnot. This is some sort of navigational system that I've developed on another level. And I'm not consciously aware of this, but the being that is me on another level can access this. The being that understands all of these things can access this navigational system. I honestly, again, I don't know exactly how it works. It just is able to do it almost on auto to a certain extent. Just turns different directions, moves through space in different directions, and knows exactly where to go. I guess you can just think of it simply as a navigational system. I think that is the simplest way to think about it. And when I fell, I remember I obviously didn't hit the ground. I never do. I could feel myself kind of hovering, and I was just there. And then the darkness lifted. I was in my apartment in a parallel universe. It's so interesting being in your apartment in a parallel universe because things are rearranged and different. The paint in this apartment was a light beige, but it looked very similar to the apartment that I live in now. The other thing that kind of scared me, and it scares me sometimes, is I was looking on my desk, no computer, nothing. It was all gone. My computers, I have on my desk that I make these videos, I have my laptop, and then I have my desktop computer on one table. And of course, I run over to the table to look, and none of these things are there. It's just smooth. I think there was a poster or a picture of something that I have on my wall presently. But other than that, there was nothing else. And I have to tell you, excuse the sound, that was my phone. My apologies as I'm telling you about this. I have to tell you, I panicked a little bit when this happened. I panicked. I was like, okay, where's my computer? Where is everything? But then I also realized, I understood very quickly, I'm in a parallel universe. In this universe, I don't have these items. I don't have a computer. I don't have all these things in this universe. In this universe, I was, I don't know. Maybe there weren't computers in this universe. Maybe there was another type of device that they have. I can't be certain. But I can tell you this. This was a very interesting thing. I turned around after I saw that my table was bare, did not have any computers, and I saw a series of trophies that had my name on them. One of the trophies, and if you know me, anyone who knows me knows this is very unusual. In this parallel universe, I am a different person. There was a trophy for shooting, rifle shooting, or some sort of shooting. You know, shooting is a sport. And it's actually, I believe it is a sport in the Olympics. This was not an Olympic trophy, but this was simply a trophy, a shooting trophy. And I could see the rifle and everything. And I was staring at it going, what in the universe? I'm a rifle. You know what? To be honest with you, I've never really liked guns. I don't even know that I've held a gun. Again, nothing against people who do like guns. I'm not saying anything against those people. That's perfectly fine. But for me, I've never been a fan of guns. I just haven't been. Not in this universe, obviously. In other universes or another universe, I am, because I won a trophy, a shooting trophy. I just stared at it for a while and I was like, this is quite interesting that that I am a shooting champion in this one. But there were other trophies too, and I didn't take the time to look at the other trophies. Why? Because I wanted to get outside and examine this place. I wanted to see what it was like. Well, let me say that I then ran toward the door, opened the door, and ran out into a hallway, carpeted hallway. And now, at this point, it reminded me when I got out into the hallway, because I shut the door. Oh, you know what else? There was someone sitting right near my door. And I don't know who this person was. They were just sitting there. And I'm thinking to myself, who is this person? And I think I asked, who are you? And I think he said something. There was some sort of interaction between us, and it didn't seem to be very positive. He may have been a relative or something, I'm not sure. But he was sitting right at the edge of my door. And I thought, why is he sitting at the edge of my door? But I said, whatever. I closed the door and I made sure it was locked. Didn't know if I had a key or not, I'm not sure. But I did, because I didn't know who this person was. And again, the interaction was brief, but it didn't seem to be, let's just say it wasn't, I don't think, a positive interaction. But I went right for the stairs. This hallway, the hall that I was in, it was an older place, I think. This apartment building was older, simply because when I opened the door, I could see sort of stains on the walls. Reddish sort of stains, I think. I don't know what the stains looked like exactly. They were just stains on the wall, and I was like, this place, you know what it kind of reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of a building I lived in Northern California years and years and years ago. It really did. It reminded me a little bit of that. And so I thought, I looked outside, I could see that there was a parking lot. And I could see cars parked, and I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm in a parallel. And I remember I was seeing this. I was like, I'm in a parallel universe. I wasn't seeing it, but I was saying it over and over again. I'm in a parallel universe. I get to see what it's like outside. I wonder what it's going to be like outside. So I'm hustling down the steps, And as I'm going, I'm like, this is the mistake. This is where I made the mistake. I started thinking, I hope I don't get pulled back because I want to see what it's like outside. And anytime you start thinking, I'm hoping that I'm not going to be pulled back, that's when you get pulled back. But I lasted for a while as I went down one flight of stairs after another. In fact, there was one floor where I thought I saw a couch outside of one of the hallways. Just sitting there, brown leather couch. And I thought, wow, that's weird. Why is there a brown leather couch out there? But I kept going down, kept going. I was like, I'm going to reach the first floor and I'm going to go outside and I'm going to see this place. And then boom, I was back in this 3D reality, opened my eyes, looked around and went, ugh. I was quite disappointed that I wasn't able to quite get outside. But guys, that was the experience to the best of my memory. Again, one of the mysteries of this, who was the gentleman that was right outside my door? I think he had dark hair, light skin. I'm not sure who this person was. I think I interacted with him for a second. I almost felt as if I may have known him in this reality. I don't know why he was sitting right outside my door. Unsure of that, but that was the experience. Thank you so much for coming on another journey with me. And until next time, take care.